Hey YouTube, this is my pal's Epiphone Les Paul Special 2, which is in for some modding. I've not really been advertising enough that I do mods for people, so if you want guitar wiring done, I'm your man. So this is a kill switch, which lights up, which is pretty cool. Also I put a push-pull pot on the volume control, and what it does was I broke into these are just the original pickups that were in the guitar, and the guy didn't want to lose any of his original sounds, so they're all there, and if you didn't know that pulled up, you wouldn't know that it coil splits. So I broke into the pickups, added extra wires so that they coil split. Yeah, so stock sounds. Neck pickup. That's been just playing through my wee line ABC15, and I think I've got my super bypass pedal involved now, so it's not doing, it's going straight into the amp, no anything else. Both pickups on. I think that bass is probably actually sitting in front of the mic, that might make a difference. So it might sound different now. Pickup. Yep, so if you pull this out, you get single coil. So push pickup, middle position. Neck pickup. So when I split the coils on this, it's just the one dual coil split. Obviously I could have put in one, I could put a push pull in on the tone, so I could have split the neck and the tone and the bridge separately. But so this just does both of them. In the neck position, I find it's really good. It's a really good mod. Humbucker, single, big difference. And also in the middle position. Almost acoustic-y. But I feel a wee bit in the bridge position, it's a bit light. Then tapped. Oh, yeah. So I would put on my, usually use a rat pedal for. See, that's where the bridge, when it's split, comes into play. That's where all the distortion. That's an humbucker. I'm not very good at demonstrating the kill switch. I think it might work really well if you've got the amp up really loud. Single. Yeah, so noisy. So this guitar is actually pretty good. I got a guitar when I was in China. If you look back maybe a month, 2 months ago, it was called a Canvas, which I reckon was very similar to this, and it is very similar. I think it's the same guitar, although funnily enough the Canvas actually had better tuners on it. This has got the not enclosed ones. It's got like a metal casing on top of the old style tuner, and just a bit cheap. I mean, they work fine. It's just looking at them, you just go, they're not as good. But the pickups in these are quite good. My first real electric guitar was an Epiphone SG, and the pickups in it were terrible. But I think as the guitars moved on, I think the guitar they don't make bad pickups anymore. But these, I think the pickups are kind of their strength. These ones have actually got Epiphone written on the back of them. The one on my old Epiphone, they weren't. It was like a 95 or 96 or something like that. I don't know where this one's made. It doesn't have any serial numbers on it or anything like that, so I don't even know how old it is. I think it might be brand new. It's got a few wee scratches in the front, but I don't know how careful the chap is with it. Yeah, so this kill switch here with light on it. So you can see there, it's like he actually bought it as a guitar kill switch. I wasn't that impressed with what he got. He got it from a guitar shop down in England somewhere, and luckily for them, otherwise they'd be getting bad mouthed. I've lost a bit of paper on the instructions which had where it was. I can't remember. I don't want to. It was down south in England somewhere. But so they give you this kill switch kit, which basically involved the switch, switch is fine, and I had like a battery connector on it, which I don't have one lying about. But so it's got, the switch has got two terminals on it and a battery connector. But if you connect the battery, that light's on, and that's it. So that light just stays on unless you physically take the battery off. It just stays on forever. So if you didn't know what you were doing, I mean, my thinking was I was going to try and wire it round the other way, so when you pressed the button it lit up. But with this particular thing, see, if I put my finger over it, you can't see it, so there'd be no point in pressing it to make it light up. So you've got to light it up. It doesn't even go off actually when you press the button, if you look from the side. So what I had to do, which I feel it should have come in the kit, I've added a stereo jack socket, which is just the old trick you use for, actually I ordered it for this guitar because it's got an active boost in it. You know, if you put a stereo jack on it, you can use the two pins to connect the battery. So that's been when this one, when you unplug it, the battery goes off. It just seems to be, I was annoyed by it because an awful lot of people aren't going to know how to get around that, and unless you put like a switch to turn the, a wee mini switch to turn the light on and off, seems a bit crazy. I mean, it is only a wee LED and it's running off a 9-volt battery, so it probably lasts 6 months, but that would really piss me off if you had it on all the time, even when you weren't playing it, or obviously it doesn't make any difference when you unplug it. So I wasn't super impressed with that. The other thing I wasn't impressed with as well, it's like if you've ever tried to repair a guitar lead, it's like you get like a bit that screws on. This is going to sound, it's a really bad explanation. How do I do this? Yeah, so if you imagine the cable coming through and you've got the bit that's on the cable, if you know what I mean, you leave the screw on bit on the cable, then you solder the end on, and then you slide it on. You can't put. I'll just show you here. Right, this bit here, yeah, has to be on the cable before you solder the end on. Otherwise, you've got this on and this isn't connected. Well, it's the same sort of thing with that battery connector. So the switch has got like a nut that goes on the bottom of it to tighten it up, to screw it onto the front of the guitar, but it's already got the battery connector soldered onto it. So you can't actually, when you undo the bolt, you can't get it past the battery connector, which means that you can't actually fit it to the guitar. So you have to unsolder it just to solder it back on again. I wasn't impressed with the kit, especially as the fact that I assumed that it would just, the switch would somehow light up right. It's a wee bit. I'm complaining a bit about it, but as I said, luckily for the company, I've lost a bit of paper that's got what the company was called is. And to be fair, he did buy a switch that's the right size. I bought a switch for a guitar before, like an arcade switch, thinking, oh, that'd be cool, you know, a big arcade switch, but the thing's about that deep, so it actually doesn't fit inside the guitar because it's that deep. I was like, alright. Because it's dead hard to tell when you're buying switches and stuff from China, it's dead hard to tell what size it physically is. You know, the actual surface of the switch was fine in the top, it's just that the actual depth of it was way thicker. I could put it in acoustic maybe. I don't know if a kill switch in an acoustic. It comes in again. Epiphone guitars are pretty good. The cheap. It's the same. I feel the same with BC Rich. Used to be like this as well, and to a certain extent, the Squire Bullets. I don't mind. I like cheap guitars. The ones that are like, I don't know how much these are now. They used to be like 119. So I'd imagine they're maybe about 150. I don't mind that because it's the cheapest. It's a cheap guitar and it's totally fine. It's great. Sounds brilliant. I get more pissed off for the ones that are the cheap guitars that are 400 or 500 quid, where you basically get this, but it's got a really fancy top on it, and it's like 400 quid, and it's like, it's not any better than this. It's just like, so this is, I suppose it'd be like a Les Paul Junior. Yeah. Yeah, so if you want this sort of thing done, I can break into pickups and make them coil splittable. I can add new pickups. I can put push pulls in, or I can put switches in. Some people actually, I did an Ibanez for a guy and he wanted the switches, didn't want push pulls, he wanted to be able to see the switches. And well, fair enough, just as easy. So on a guitar like this, with just one volume, one tone, I went for the best option was the coil split in both of them, because that gives you 3 humbucker sounds and then 3 single coil sounds. If you've got metal covers and it's wax potted, I can't break it, and you've only got 2 wires coming off the pickup, I can't break into it. So what I would do there is I would make it a phase switch, which would reverse the neck pickup, and when you've got both pickups on, it gives you a sort of acoustic-y phase sound. Peter Green, we'll call it a Peter Green switch. I would do that. I could also knock them into series, so instead of the 2 of them running in parallel, they run in series, so they work together as one big humbucker. That for me, for this guitar, I think my recommendation was to get the dual coil split, because it gives you the extra 3 sounds. That's really all I can do with a guitar like this. If you've got the 4 volume controls, you can do the Jimmy Page thing where you've got a coil split, separate, so that volume would split the bridge pickup, and then this volume, which isn't here on this guitar, would split the neck, and then you would have phase, which would reverse them, and then you would have series and parallel, which would on the tone control that's not here, so it would give you like, I don't know, because then you could have like single coils that are out of phase, single coils in phase, single coils in phase in series, single coils out of phase in series, or single coil and humbucker, or single coil and humbucker. It ends up multiplying crazily, and you end up with thousands of sounds. But the thing I would like about doing that, when you do push-pull pots, you don't have to remember whether the switch is on or not, because if it's in, you wouldn't know it was there, and then that's it on, so the coil split. Whereas if you've got switches, you have to know whether down is up, down is on, or up is on. That makes sense? Don't know. Rock on.